Oh no. Time. They just trying to speak their peace. Get your peace. Oh no. Roy and Reese, friends through any weather, so it's only right they get together, build something together. Oh no. Experience brings wisdom, and wisdom wise decisions. Veterans, affairs a priority. So when it come to veterans, probably should be tuning in. Matter of fact, tell a couple friends. If you got issues with your dog, cat, woman, and opinion about 45 sitting up in Gotham, guess that made Roy and Reese who? Batman and Robin, dialogue just might help you solve it. Come to conclusion to dissolve, so you can get back to your R&R. Just trying to speak a peace. Get your peace, R&R. Roy and Reese, what up? The R&R experience. They just kick it how they living, they just trying to speak their peace. Get your peace, R&R, Roy and Reese. What up? R&R experience, yeah. Just kick it how they living, niggas so important. They just trying to speak their peace.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the R&R Experience. I'm Ro.
Your boy Reese.
Yeah, and this is our next edition. Today should be a pretty good show. Give a little backdrop on how we came up with the idea to do this show. Is that about 3 weeks ago, it was on a Friday. There wasn't too much going on, so I hit Sean up. Was like, yo, let's do a Zoom. You know, and we pretty much hit up our inner circle. You know, he had people that he hit up, and I hit up some of my homeboys. And we actually started that Zoom at about 7 o'clock. And we didn't finish that Zoom until almost 2 in the morning. Right. So it was some real good material in that conversation. So while on that call, we decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and do our next show with everybody, you know what I mean? Because it was get everybody a different perspective on the different thing that's going on in the world. So, and everybody was down for it. So that's kind of like a little premise of how we came up with this episode. So like I said, we got what, 1, 2, 5. We got 5 guests. So we're gonna kind of introduce everybody, give them an opportunity to say a little something about themselves. So we'll start with Riley. You up top? We'll start with Riley.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? My name is Riley. My first name is Chad. I'm originally from West Columbia, South Carolina. I did 16 years in the military. I know that's how I met Ro, Reese, met Biggs, and everybody else. Right now, I'm just chilling with my kids. My father of twin boys. Unfortunately, they look just like me. So, but that's about it about me. I try my best to stay positive, keep everything real. Like being around positive guys, positive women, and hey, let's keep the thing moving.
Yes, sir. My boy Ant.
Hey, what's going on? My name's Anthony, last name Reese. We cousin of Sean. So that's pretty much how I'm connected. I got a sports fitness background, father of 2 boys, and just here to give a little insight on what's going on today.
Good shit, good stuff. SG, he's a return guest.
What's going on, everybody? I'm SG, Shannon Gregory. I'm originally from Oklahoma City. Spent 10 years in the Army. Got 2 daughters that's just driving me crazy right now. But yeah, I'm a proud father of 2 daughters and everything. Got my oldest, she's a senior. She's headed off to OU here in the fall and everything. So pretty excited about that.
Nice.
I'm pretty much just a regular dude, man. I actually met Sean and Ro, I think, in a Facebook group. And we've been rocking, 8-9 years or so, something like that. I mean, it's cool. We do, be able to meet some brothers online or whatever, and still have a strong friendship, 8-9 years later and everything. So definitely glad to be a part of this project here.
Yes, sir. Next is Big.
Yeah, man, it's Biggs right here, a.k.a. Demetrius Jones, out of North Carolina, prior military, father of 5 boys, got 3 beautiful stepdaughters as well. I know most of these fellas here from the military, man. From our shenanigans back in the day. We got about 15 years in, man. So, these some great brothers here. And I'm looking to chop it up, man. Should be an interesting conversation. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And last but definitely not least, General.
I'm gonna keep it brief. Currently out in Atlanta, Georgia. I got 2 boys, pretty young, 9 and 3, so they give me a run for my money right now. So quarantine and whatnot. But yeah, I was really honored to be even asked to participate in something like this. I mean, I can see the quality of men that are here today, and I definitely think we're gonna have a good conversation. And I appreciate being a part of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, I hope everybody. I know everybody. Yesterday was Father's Day, so I hope everybody had a good Father's Day. Anybody got anything special that happened to them they want to talk about or share?
Yeah, got some good eating. That's about it.
Most definitely, man.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, fam. That shit is true, yo. We get treated like shit on Father's Day.
For real.
That's a
Second-hand holiday, yo.
Man, that's a fact.
Yeah, it was.
Holiday.
I mean, it was cool and everything.
We get the leftovers for the last holiday on clearance.
Nah, I
better be
got,
happy with it too.
I ain't
Like,
gonna lie.
remember
I
that
got
shirt you
treated
wanted for
pretty good.
Christmas? That shirt you wanted for Christmas that you ain't get. You
So
go
that's
get
the
it on
one.
Father's Day on clearance.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I got treated well. Little wifey cooked and gave me a present. So I was like, okay, she looked out for me.
Yeah, I seen you was out there doing your thing with your boys too. That was dope.
Yeah, man. Now it was too hot. I'm just say that. It's hot out there in them streets for real.
It kind of heated up this weekend.
It was a good deal for me, man. Me and my daughters, we freaking played PS4 all weekend, playing Call of Duty and Mortal Kombat all weekend long. Like my youngest, man, she is huge in Call of Duty, man. She was tearing me up.
That's unacceptable.
Right, it is.
You're supposed to be trained, sir.
You might need to reevaluate some things.
You're supposed to be trained, sir.
But I hadn't played, man. I hadn't played in years, but she's on it day in and day out, man.
You're supposed to be tactical.
Man, she was tearing me up. Boy. She's like, Daddy, get it together. Get it together. I'm gonna have to boot you up.
Time to go.
Yeah, my weekend was straight, man. Like a lot of y'all know, actually, there's a couple brothers on here as well, but y'all know I'm Mason. And so we had an actual march on Saturday. As a matter of fact, my boy Sean came through as well.
That was dope.
Yeah, the Juneteenth march. It was pretty good, man. I had over 500 people there, so.
Yeah, I salute y'all for that too. For real.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
That's
That was
amazing,
dope.
man.
Word, big ups for that. I wish I'd have been out there. That'd have been nice.
yeah. So there's enough on the introduction, man. We go and slide over to Sean so he can introduce these topics. So we can go and get into the show.
Okay. Before we get into the show, I want to take a moment to have a brief moment of silence for all the brothers and sisters that we've lost due to these police injustices and the killings of these brothers and sisters. So if we could just take a minute to have a moment of silence for that. All right. So cool. We want to get into these topics. What we're going to talk about today is, for one, how are Black men and women of our armed forces affected by social injustices in this current climate when the military has been put in the middle of it? Next topic, supporting each other. Why does it seem like an uphill battle with us supporting each other? Another topic we're going to tap into is with the murder of George Floyd being the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, do you think we will now begin to be more united as a people? Also, we want to tap into protesting versus looting and rioting. And lastly, where do we go from here dealing with law and legislation?
Sure.
So we can just keep going around the horn. Riley, we start off with you, bro. How do you, as far as like Black men and women of our armed forces, let's tap into that one.
Well, we already know that it's already been a struggle anyway. If you are a service member, current, veteran, whatever, but mainly those that's currently in, it's been a struggle. No matter what, whether you're a black male, whether you're a black female, trying to achieve that next rank and trying to figure out where your placement is in the military. So trying to find a voice is already difficult enough. So hopefully, you know, they can try to figure out some type of outlet to where it's like an outlet like this, where they can voice their opinions on how they feel, but not get in trouble based off of what they say. You know, so I mean, I know it's kind of difficult because, you know, we all still wear the uniform or whatever, and you can't do it in like a meeting, you know, environment. So you have to have like those little social groups like everybody has. We all pretty much familiar with that. So within your social group, it's good to voice that. But we know they also have to be careful with who they say things around, because, you know, everybody's always listening, or you always got eyes on you, you know, so they really have to be careful with that. So it's just mainly about how to manage that and the proper timing of it, of how you go about saying what you need to say and be professional in that manner of saying it.
Right. So before I come to you, Ant, let me go to Ro, because I think he's the only one in here that's actually currently still in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like, and I want to give a little context to it as well. You know, a couple weeks ago, you know, you seen videos of, you know, celebrities, you know, going up to the reservists that's out there, National Guard, that got called in for the riots. They going off on them. I think I saw a video where this one black guy was going off on the other black guy that's in the military, you know, calling them all kind of names and stuff.
Right.
The thing is, I think that we need to have this conversation because, you know, I don't think both sides truly understand, you know what I mean? Because like one of the videos I saw, you know, they trying to get them to leave their posts and they come and protest with me. And, you know, and from a military member, you know, we all know that we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I think Sean used an example, we were talking a couple weeks ago, is that that's just like somebody, you know, you at work at Walmart, I tell you to go clock in. And when you clock in, I'm saying, hey, can I come down here and protest with you? Yo, you on the clock. You can't do that. And I think that a lot of times I've seen a lot of those reservists got put in predicaments and situations that they didn't deserve to be in, because you got to think, as a black man in the military, you don't think that that they believe in the cause. You don't think that they're upset about the same things that we're seeing, because we experience that same type
They
of
part-time too.
Yeah, in the military. So I think that's where it came from. We had to come up with, like, this conversation need to be had so the civilian aspect of the military can understand that it's two different roles. And so when you see somebody out there in the military, and when they called in, reservists or whoever they may be, you know, you got to realize they can't just go while in uniform, while on duty, and participate in stuff like that. They're there for a reason. They're there doing a job. They're on the clock, per se. So I think that's one of the things that I think is important, that we get the message across, that, you know, those people that are out there, you know, have a little bit of compassion, because, you know, you get a brother like me that, you know, I feel the same way everybody else feels. But if the military might feel like I got to go out there and I got to do that, then I have to do that, because that's what I'm getting paid to do.
But
So,
when does it? But where? At what point do you draw a line as far as what you are willing to do for your job, per se? Like, you're on the clock, and you know, like, for me, it's like I'm not military, so I can't, you know, I can't speak for somebody in the military. You know what I'm saying? But the standpoint that I speak from is, like, I get that you guys take an oath, and your oath, like, you know, you're supposed to protect against terrorists, foreign and domestic.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So the terrorism that we face here on the foreign ground, in my opinion, is the police brutalities, is the Klan and the killings and the genocide of the black people, right? So for the government to ask you guys who are on the clock to go out there, you know, and have to make a decision between your livelihood and your morals and your values and what you know, and stuff like that. Like, how do you make that decision? Like, how can you ask somebody to put 16 years worth of work in investment in the retirement and in their career and their future and all of that on the line, right? At that very moment. I get it. I totally get it.
So it's a
But-
couple
Hey,
of
let-
Yeah, because I'm ready to jump in there.
Let
I'm
us-
ready to
let
jump in
us-
there.
let us go around.
I'm
Let
ready-
us go around. Because I got a caveat to what he's saying too.
I'm,
But
I'm
go
ready.
ahead,
I'm
SG.
ready to jump in there. At
Go
any
ahead,
time.
go ahead, SG. Go ahead, SG.
Well, just to let me back up a little bit. You know, the biggest thing about the military, and from all of us that have served, we've run into, you know, many different instances where we've had to, you know, really kind of take a look at ourselves and like, okay, do I react as me, SG, Sergeant SG, or whatever the case may be, or do I act, you know, as, you know, my personal self and everything?
Right.
So, I mean, in the military, you face that, you know, day in and day out or whatever, and so it's hard, you know, to balance the two, and especially in this, when I was, you know, serving, we didn't have all of what's going on, you know, right now and everything. So I can only imagine, you know, just with some of the experiences that I did go through in the military, having to deal, you know, with what's going on now, currently. And so I think the thing that gets kind of lost in this, you know, we took an oath and everything, but, you know, we got orders to follow and everything, and we can't go against those orders or whatever, you know, or that's going to be blowback on us. And especially, you know, if you're leading, you know, other soldiers or whatever the case may be. So it's a hard line or whatever, and but it's a very thin line too as well. I mean, and you know, with the thing about with the social media era, if I can talk, you know, a lot of these soldiers and servicemen and women, you know, are finding themselves getting in trouble because they crossed that line, and forget that, hey, you still, you know, as they say, you're soldier 24/7 or whatever the case may be. So, you know, the problem with that is, you know, people will get on social media and they'll start saying certain things, and you know that can cause problems for them and everything. So it's like I said, it's a fine line.
Biggs.
But I feel like they.
Hold on. Biggs.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is what people got to understand, man. Like the young lady who was
Kiki Palmer.
What's that?
Kiki Palmer.
Kiki Palmer. Okay. Kiki Palmer, when she was fussing at the reservists.
Yeah.
I just want people to understand when you're not in the military, and I didn't understand it until I got in the military. All right. So military is bound by the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice, right? So let's say that dude would have left his post and went walking with them like she wanted, okay, and let's just say he did something that the police might deem criminal, okay, if something else is going on. Not only is he going to get prosecuted in the state, he's going to come back to the military and they're going to prosecute him again.
Yep.
Right.
So that's why we just can't, in the military, you just can't do what you want. Sometimes you might want to do it.
I get it, totally.
Yeah, your morals and you know what I'm saying? We with the culture. Like all of us came up, we're black. We were raised black in black communities. Of course, we stand with the culture. But we know that it's a double-edged sword for us. Like if we go do it, we're not only gonna get in that trouble, but we're gonna come back and get in this. We're definitely gonna get in the trouble with the military, period. Just for leaving your post and going off and doing anything. Now you're subject to being penalized under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which they're gonna do. They're gonna hold whatever you did. They're gonna hold you to the fire for it, unless you got some type of.
Well, there's one more point I want to add to it. You got a right. If it's unlawful or immoral, you don't have to follow that order.
True.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So let's start there.
Right.
Let's start
Absolutely.
there.
Right.
Let's start there.
We know that. Absolutely. We know that. That's clear.
So it's not like you out there, you know, you walking blindly. It's not like you walking blindly.
No.
Like everything somebody tell me I'm gonna do.
Right.
No.
No, that's not the case.
You have a code of ethics.
Yep.
However, we going out here like my man Rosso. We coming out to do a job. So if the job is to clear this corner, we ain't gonna hurt nobody. You ain't seen the National Guard out there choking nobody out.
Right.
No, not at all. Absolutely.
They didn't even have weapons.
And y'all move differently.
Right.
Y'all move
There you go.
disciplinedly. Y'all,
They didn't even have weapons.
The military will absorb a little bit more. I guess, abuse in the situation like that.
It's not even abuse. They didn't even have weapons. When the National Guard out there, it's a certain respect. Honestly, you didn't see any clashes per se.
Right.
Between the National
The
Guard.
beef is not with the National Guard, though.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? When we talk about black men and women being in the military, we going out there to do a job. I think for the most part, when we go out there to do that job, we feel comfortable because we know we're not there to do nothing else but that job. We ain't got no agenda.
Right.
If you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that completely. And I understand that completely. But the perspective of the people is that your agenda, based on who you represented, is to prevent them from achieving their agenda. You know what I'm saying?
Let me caveat off something you said. If I think it done went all the way around. Let me caveat off something you said, Ant, earlier about the military having to defend against both enemies, foreign and domestic.
Right.
Who deems the enemy? Who determines who the enemy is? Because it's not us. That's one point.
Right.
Also,
see that? With that being said, so
hold on. So we also can't skip around what we want to use because there's also an order that says I will obey the orders of the commander-in-chief. So we can't skip to that part and skip over the fact that there's orders that they have to obey just to say, oh, the police are looking like terrorists, so now they're the enemy. We don't deem the police the enemy. We don't get to make that decision, even though a lot of them are doing unlawful things and they have put themselves in looking like the enemy, but it's not all of them.
But that's like, but just because they don't deem I was gonna get to that earlier. I was gonna say because they don't deem them terrorists, you're not gonna classify them as terrorists.
Well, to caveat off what everybody's saying,
if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck.
Well, here's the thing though, and like Sean was saying, when Kiki was doing her thing, like trying to get those National Guards and reservists to join in. The thing about it is, here's why I'm gonna set the difference. When military personnel wear the uniform, we have to live by that code. We have to go by that oath. We have to go by those general orders. Because if not, like Big said, uniform code of military justice, our job is more serious than anybody may think it actually is. We are the world's police. You think about it.
You guys are held to a higher standard of accountability as well. Like
Exactly.
you're held to a level of a certain accountability that the police departments are not being held to. So if you guys did the things that they did in the police department,
well,
it's not the oath as well.
It's not just that. We do a lot of things the police department not doing. We go to Afghanistan. So everybody got to be on the same page. There's no options. You know
I'm not saying you don't do more extreme things. Your jobs are different. But what I'm saying is, when in terms of your oath, if you break your oath, you guys are being held to an extreme standard, like tight, strict. There's no room. There's no room for error. You don't disobey orders and you get held. You know.
I say all the
you get
time.
Consequences.
I constantly always say that I wish the police force were ran like the military was ran. You know what I'm saying? Because more police officers would be more scared to do some of the things that they do.
Right.
Because of the way you would be prosecuted and held accountable for what you did.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So that comes from the leadership though. That comes from the leadership though. The way policing is set up. You know, you got the police chief, and he gets pretty much to run his police force the way he wants to. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody steps in and says, "Hey, we don't like the way it's running, so all right, we're gonna fire the police chief and on down."
Yeah, worst case, you fire.
Right. So now let me caveat off of that.
You know what I mean?
Now let me caveat. This is what I was getting to. This is what I was getting to in terms of the military. Now, from my perspective, they have the military in place to make sure that the police are able to continue doing what they're doing, right? Not the other way around. They should be there to police the police, and they're not doing that, right?
That's not why they're there. That's not why they're there.
But you're supposed to be able to protect against all of that.
No.
I'm not saying not necessarily the police per se, but if there's any injustices going on in the world, right? You are the world police.
That's not why they're there.
No, it's not what it is.
You said you're the world police, right?
I said that, but see, here's the thing. It's the world.
You say world
we have to
police
go
now.
from country.
That doesn't
country
mean that
to
you're only
country.
policing in other countries.
But I think you got it. I think you got it misunderstood to where it's more so. There's not enough police to control situations. They can't always pull from one precinct from another precinct to another precinct. And then when things get too big for them, that's when they call the National Guard. That's when they call.
You're misdirected. You're
Hey,
redirected.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So I don't know if y'all saw this video, right? So it was a video for the National Guard that was in Philadelphia, and they was on the curb and they was actually talking to the people, and the people said the same thing that you said, and the perspective, you know, that most people have is that the military is there like we okay with what's going on, like we're siding with one side, and that's
not necessarily that you're siding.
Hold on. And so when they was talking to the individuals, they asked the question, and what the National Guard told them was like, look, we are here to keep order, not just to help the police keep you in order, but also if we see the police doing something to you, it's our duty to step in and to correct that, to stop it. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the military, they're just
nobody. I don't think people know that. I don't think people know that though.
And that's going to my second point. The only reason why they recognize that is because they had a conversation. Because the guys, the people that was on the corner, they was like, yo, you know what? We appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying, breaking that down for us because we think it's something else. We thinking that y'all out here to like just monitor us. And the guy was like, no, we're not here just for you. We here to keep order on both sides. For instance, if the civilians get out of order, then we're here to maintain that order. If the police get out of order, they're here for that too. And I think that's why I think that we have this conversation on the show, because I think that those conversations needs to be.
That's a misconception.
Because you're right, and a lot of people think the way that you're thinking is that military is out.
I'm not. No. Hold. Don't get it twisted. I'm not thinking that way. I don't think that.
No, and I'm not saying you think like the perspective that you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm just merely saying that is the people's perspective. They think that like if you base your opinion on somebody by their affiliations, right? So if you and Sean came, well, not to me, right? Like, let's say me and Sean went somewhere else that knew nobody, and I got beef with somebody, but I'm telling him, yo, my cousin's gonna make sure it's a fair fight, right? My cousin's gonna make sure it's a fair fight. You're not gonna really believe me because my cousin's affiliated with me. So I get what you're saying, and that's not what their agenda is. It's not to keep one side or to keep anybody in order per se, but the perspective, I'm gonna believe that you're gonna, and when the shit hits the fan, you're gonna be ordered to side with the police.
But you know, I understand.
Go ahead, Big. Let Big jump in there. Big had something. Go ahead, Big.
Yeah. Check it out, man. Back it up a little bit when he said the military is the police of the world or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like Riley was saying, we are the police of the world, but we're not the police of the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, is people gotta understand that, but the police are. The police forces are. Whatever police force you have in your city, they're the police.
That's why all the laws differ from state to state.
That's why we screwed up now. That's why we screwed up now.
And that's where there's different branches of law enforcement. You got the FBI, the DEA, the CIA, the police department, all of that in America.
Corruption.
So this is the thing. What people got to understand is even soldiers in America get policed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've been in full uniform, stopped by police officers. They don't care. If you live in America, you can be policed. You know what I'm saying? And you live in this country, so you know police.
You ain't gonna see no white military men.
We don't police America. If it was the other way around, you know, you would never see a cop stop a car full of FBI agents.
And you'll never see a cop stop a car full of white military men.
But you ain't gonna never see them stop a car full of FBI agents. And they're gonna look at me and laugh like, man, we're above you. We police you. Because that's sort of true. You see what I'm saying?
I just saw the video. We just saw a video on that. This white cop was harassing some black dude who turned out to be an FBI agent. Ended up laughing in his face. Harasser was ready to lock him up.
I mean, they done pulled over congressmen. They got congressmen on video getting pulled over. The Congress lady, city councilwomen.
It's usually when you're black.
Yeah, no doubt.
Black. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the conversation. We know black people endure the most injustices in this country.
These are facts.
That's really why we have this conversation.
Right.
These are facts.
So what I'm saying is that the government has the military in a position to inflict whatever force they want to inflict around the world, right? Because those are their orders, and they're gonna follow those orders because it's not so personal, right? You're not really affected personally by what's going on in these other countries when you got to go do what you got to do. It's
Yo,
an
hey,
order.
I would just say it's a little deeper than that.
It is a lot deeper. But
It's just a little deeper than that.
It's only my perspective from my outside looking in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's a little deeper than that.
None of what I'm saying is held fact to no individual.
Right.
This is my perspective. Right?
Yeah.
So I would just think that it's not personal. I get it. If I'm in the military and I choose to be in the military, I'm gonna follow my orders because that's what we chose to do. We took an oath. Yeah, we're gonna do that across the board. We're gonna handle our business. My boys, we out here, we at war. This is what we doing. My dogs, I'm with my dogs. I'm not gonna turn my back on my military because I'm turning my back on my dogs. Like y'all bred like that. Y'all like that. It's tight. It's a brotherhood. It's not
Hold on. SG, you got anything, sir?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
It's more than that. And I can relate to that on a football sense. My brotherhood with my football team is different. You know what I mean? We went to war together. I'm never gonna turn my back on my brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. But all of the things that's going on and them positioning y'all, they positioning y'all in a way that if you chose to practice your right as a citizen of America, right, and choose not to do something, they're gonna lock you up. You know, you feel like what's going on in America is unconstitutional.
Well, everybody got a choice to make.
Right, absolutely.
I want to
sum it up. Let me finish it up so y'all can just take it. I'm gonna just get out the way. But if every black man and woman in the military, in the police forces, just say, yo, we had enough of this nonsense, and everybody just say, yo, we gonna sit down. What they gonna do? Lock everybody up? They gonna have to restructure because they wanna have no forces to do nothing with. But as long as they got y'all by the balls and say, if you dare try to be a black man and not a military man at this moment.
See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. Hold on. I'm going to stop you there, fam. You said if you dare.
Hold on. Go SG. I mean, go.
Let me just finish. Don't take it personal because I would never question your blackness. No, I would never take any question any of y'all blackness. But no, this is
we talking. This is the dialogue.
There's a lot on the line for military men and women, right? There's a lot on the line. You're risking your freedom, you're risking your pensions, all of that. It's a lot. But if everybody just said, yo, enough is enough, and we say, yo, I'm not a military man, I'm not a police officer, I'm not congressman, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a bus driver, I'm a black man and I'm a black woman. We all gonna stand still until y'all change this. Yo, that's when things will change. But as long as they got some of us by the balls in some places and separated by certain guidelines and oaths and what have you, like the blue stay together because they got their oath, the military stay together because they got their oath. Y'all are convicted because of your oath. The NYP, the blue is not. So
go ahead, General.
When do we stay together?
I'm gonna keep it short. And I'm gonna say, I think you got a misconception. The military isn't quite like how the police force rolls, where we all stick together.
I know.
And you know, you can say what you want to say, and you can say it how you want to say it, as long as you're intelligent in saying it, even being in the military.
Yep.
You might not have a political point of view, which you're not supposed to, but you can express your views. It's not like you're silenced. It's not like you're a sheep. You see what I'm saying? It's not like you just walking around being like, yes, sir, right, left. No, that's I think you got somewhat of a misconception.
But to express your views verbally,
you can.
Hey, so let me
versus acting on your views.
Hey, one thing you got to realize is that it's me as a black soldier, a black man in the army. If I want to go down and protest, I can. What I can't do is go down there in my military uniform saying I'm there representing the army. So I think what you don't get as a black man, I can't. I have been to protests here.
We just did one this past.
I know. I totally get that. I get it.
I
You can't because whenever you're in uniform, you're representing the uniform.
It ain't that the military got anybody by the balls no more than another organization.
Right.
It's just
Whether
that
you work at Wells Fargo.
yeah, it's all the same. What he's saying is that when we're on the clock, we're there doing a job. Same way if you're at your job doing something. Now, when you get out of work, you're a free man to do whatever you want to do. Military is the same way. If I get off work and I want to go down and protest, I can. As Roderick, not as Sergeant Malden, whatever the case may be. I'm going down as a black man to protest all the injustices that are going on against black people. I can do that. But I think what we're talking about, people are seeing actual soldiers and sailors and Marines in uniform, thinking that they're going to go down there in uniform to do that.
I think also it's coming from a place of us being that it's like military. It kind of comes off as if people want the military to take a militant stance against the police.
That's not what I'm expecting either.
That's how it comes across.
That's not exactly what I'm saying.
Because exactly what Roe expressed is the same thing you would do on your job. You're not going to go protest or do anything along those lines on the clock. You're not going to do it.
Okay, so put it this way: if I work at the gym, right, I'm a personal trainer, and my job says they want me as a personal trainer to go, promote McDonald's. Right? That's my orders. They want me to go promote McDonald's. They're gonna put up a stand in front of McDonald's or whatever. Something I disagree with, right? I don't believe in that. Right? Okay. I'm not holding that post. I'm like, nah, I don't represent that. Like, you couldn't do that.
So you out.
Right. So I'm out, and I'm in trouble now if I'm in the military.
Yeah.
You can't compare being a personal trainer and then slide the military in to try to corroborate that.
All I'm saying is you can't choose not to act on an
order.
Yeah,
you can choose. You could be out. You might be AWOL. Hey, hey, listen, right. we done chaptered a couple cats. Hey, they out.
That's part of the reason why I chose not to go into the military, because my personality is. I thought that too. Is a little different. Like,
I thought that too. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm impulsive.
I think all of us thought that. Yeah.
I'm impulsive. I'm impatient.
Like, I thought that too.
And I'm break it down to you like this. Right? So being in the military. So if you work at Walmart,
right?
You decide that if Walmart said they're going to do something, and I'm not with that. So what? You can quit. There's no law against you quitting.
Right.
But in the military, if we are given an order, which we all raised our own hand, we wasn't forced to do it, to obey our orders. So if we get orders to do something, if we go against that order, not only do I get kicked out of the military, possibly, I get in trouble, right? So it's
exactly
like so meaning that I'm losing money. I'm losing money for my family.
That's all understood.
So that's all
I get it.
And I think people understand that.
Go ahead, Riley.
I have empathy for you.
But you know what? I don't know why we comparing the military to anything. I mean, that's a whole nother discipline. You know what I mean?
That's a whole different world.
My thing is this: when it comes to the military, let's talk about. Let me give it the situation like the way I see it right now. Like if I was in the military right now, right?
Go ahead, Riley. Go ahead, Riley.
To caveat on what Ro is saying. When you were saying about, if you worked at Walmart, you quit, whatever. If a person in the military chooses to quit, there are more long-term things that they have to deal with. Like say, for instance, if you get chaptered, for one, what you're hoping on is hopefully you get an honorable discharge. Because if you don't, or other than honorable, you get anything other than that.
Please.
Your life.
Now you tampering with your civilian life. Now
exactly my point. Exactly my point. Why the military has you by the balls.
So you have to understand this too. When it comes to the police versus the military, for the police, like everything that's been going on, whether it been with, Judge Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery or whatever, what happened to those cops? They got put on desk duty or they got sent home.
How many black men and women are in the military right now?
Or even get fired and go work for the next police department over.
Right, he go work somewhere else.
He's going to be a security guard somewhere, whatever. For us,
I can't do that in the military.
The thing is with us, it's more so when the minute you raise your right hand, no matter what branch of the military you in,
know.
those colors that you wear, that's what you see. You don't see anything outside
bro. I know.
of those parameters.
I said
And you bleed
that's
red.
why I couldn't swear to that.
No, and
Well,
I
this is the
get what
thing,
you're saying,
though.
but it's just more so trying to make that comparison. Like, even from my standpoint, when after my military career, if they wanted me to go, hey, I need you to go put these signs up, blah, blah, blah. Do I want to do it? No. But it's embedded in me because I put so many years and time in. Hey, go do the job.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Biggs. Go ahead, Biggs. Go ahead.
Yo, I'm gonna say, I just real quick. I'm gonna say it real quick. This is the thing, man. And you keep saying that the military has us by the balls. Okay, let's just say you're right. If the military has us by the balls, then everybody should understand why military personnel has to play ball. And you shouldn't ask a person in the military, in military uniform, to do those things that you're asking them to do. You say take a stance. Right. When you say take a stance, when you say stand up, say we ain't doing it no more.
I agree with you.
You shouldn't ask a person 100%. In the military to do that.
Right.
Because
I agree with you 100%.
By the balls. So don't ask us.
I agree with you.
Because 100%. You know what? That's how I feel going back home, though.
Yeah,
but I agree with you, Biggs. Biggs, I agree with you.
You got to know the pressure we're under. So we shouldn't be asked that.
You should never ask a man to come off his post, ever.
You should
never ask a man to come off his post. Because once he's taken his post, he chose to take his post. I'm not going to ask a man who take his post to come off his post. What I'm saying is, if all the black men and women in the military chose not to take their post and say, yo, y'all got to change this shit.
Why do you keep using the military? Why don't you use all the black women that work at Walmart?
Why do you
all
of us?
Why you keep
all of
everybody?
Every
single person, every single black. When I said the only movement is no movement.
You can't hold one. You can't hold one area of life to a different standard because so then why aren't you and everybody black on your job doing that?
Right. All of us, fam.
Listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: if I choose to not go to work by myself, and it's just me that chose not to go to work, and I didn't move, it's just me that's gonna get fired.
That's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Everybody.
But if collectively, we all stop and we just stop moving, and we say, yo, we're not going to work. We're not doing this no more.
You can't do that. Whether you're a black man or black woman in the military, you cannot.
It don't matter what race you are.
Because it's a whole completely different standard.
Yeah.
Like I forgot who said it or whatever. You really, I think
let's keep it real.
You can't compare the military to other entities.
I'm gonna tell you like this: the more we debate,
time out. We have to make sure that everybody gets a chance to complete their thoughts. So you gotta know we're recording. So kind of wait till a person
pardon me, it's getting intense, guys. It's getting hot.
Person pause and then you come in and you say something. So,
we probably need to move to the next conversation too. I don't know.
Yeah, we can move on. We touched on a lot. Follow up.
Got other topics.
My man.
We can hit this one up afterwards.
Change subject.
Hey, that could be another show.
I think we can rock out for this one for the whole 2 hours.
It's a whole another show right there. There you go.
Change subject.
Circle the wagons.
So
what we got?
This one is not gonna end.
Hold on. Let me just
no, negative.
No. Cut him off.
I just want to say from the civilian standpoint, and from the civilian standpoint, and a man of his word, I have no problem with a person that takes an oath, standing by their oath. You know what I'm saying? I have none.
Point taken.
All right. So next topic.
On you. What you got?
All right. So we're gonna slide into this next topic. Supporting each other. Why does it seem like an uphill battle with us supporting each other? Now, I want to start this one off.
This one kind of
there we go. Let's do it.
This one kind of heavy. This one kind of heavy.
Let's go.
I want to start this one off, right? Because I'm gonna go back because Ro introduced the show in the beginning, right? When we had the Zoom a couple of weeks ago, and I had something that was bothering me a little bit, and I spoke on it in the Zoom. You know, I'm a transparent type of person, so I don't have a problem discussing this. When me and Ro originally started pushing the show out there, you know, just starting from the lowest level, like us doing this podcast or whatever. And me personally, like I look at it, it's like, yo, I got so many people that are friends of mine that I'm supposed to be close with, this, that, and the third, and whatever. It's like, yo, why I don't get the same energy from you pushing my product out there like the way I push your product out there. Like, I got friends that got their own businesses, that got their own bars, they selling stuff or whatever. I'm not a quid pro quo type of person. I do it out of love. So if I got love for you, we got love for each other, I shouldn't have to ask certain things. Certain things are innately like obligated because that's what we do as people for one another. So I thought, because I'm that type of person. Like, I don't have to tell, if Riley, you come to me like, yo, I'm trying to open up this business, or this is my business I'm going into, boom, as soon as I get wind of that, it's all over my page. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand the mindset of us not supporting each other, because I've always been about supporting my people, especially people that I'm close with. I can't see me not doing that.
Oh,
General,
All right, let me.
if I,
I'm sorry with General. Let's switch it up a little bit. General, what you got?
Yo, man, listen. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've heard that from a couple of other people I know, man. You know, some real positive brothers that are doing things, and you know, they told me it hurts. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you step out there, you try to do something positive, and like you said, the same energy, you know, you put into them, it doesn't come back. They told me it hurts. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I haven't been in that position yet. You know, I haven't been able to push nothing out there that I really want something. But anyway, yo, they told me it hurts. And me, for one, I'll tell you, myself, I make a lot of excuses. I really do. You know, cats will hit me up, hey, you know, I need you to do this, you know, hop online, you know, like it, you know, whatever. And I'll be like, yep, I'm gonna do it. I never fucking do it. I'll be totally honest, you know what I mean?
Hey,
You know.
and that's real. And my thing is,
Let
like,
him finish. Let him finish. I'm coming to you.
But you know, it's you know, it's kids running around, you know, it's all kind of other stuff going on. But at the end of the day, you know, it's when I do get that time to sit down and connect, I try to do that. And then, you know, I try to follow up. And whether it be money or, you know, just your voice or just your support, I think we as black men, honestly, we got to do better. We got to do a lot better. And I'm speaking from myself. And I'll let that go right there.
Riley, what you got?
that's what's
Okay, go
up.
ahead. Go ahead.
Riley, what you got?
There we go. I'm unmuted. Okay, so for me, I'm all about supporting the people that I know. You know, like say for instance, y'all guys. You know, the minute that y'all told me about this, I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on this, gonna shoot it out. You know, like even today, after we get done with this, I'm gonna shoot it out to everybody that I personally know. You know, because I'm skeptical of people. I don't care what color you are.
Well,
I'm very skeptical of people. You know what I'm saying? Because I think in my line of work that I did in the military with being human resources and all that, I constantly deal with people all the time, and even after the military. I'm very cautious about who I deal with, and I'm very cautious about who, you know, if you give me a business plan or whatever, and I look at them, okay, that look like it's something, you know, I can support you on that. If it look like some boo-boo, I'm gonna tell you that look like some boo. I don't know if that's gonna work. But you know, who am I? I don't have the brightest business mind. But I know BS when I see it, and I know something good when I see it. I know the people who I deal with, and if I don't know you, maybe somebody who I know who knows you, maybe they can give me a better insight, and then I can make my decision based off of that. So
I don't even know if I can go there.
Yeah, I can't go there. I can't make my decision. on
Wait a
nobody
minute.
else. Somebody else.
so that's why I look at it from that standpoint. From myself, I can't speak on everybody else, but I know from my past experiences about doing, you know, either engaging in certain things, or like whether it be an organization or whether it be like businesses or whatever, I'm very observant. So I use my gut. I use, you know, from that, and that's just how I go about whether I'm going to support somebody on something or not.
All right, what you got, Ant?
I just want to speak to the point that Sean was trying to make, where he feels like, you know, people don't put the same energy out that he puts out, or, you know, like, because he's a certain way, like, you know, and he's a certain way with people, and, you know, you expect people to be that way with you. And that's only natural, right? But at the same time, everybody's different. Everybody reciprocates energy differently. You know what I'm saying? And to expect the same from somebody else that you will put out without speaking that, you know, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. You know what I'm saying? Like, if just because on, you know, a birthday, you know, you do a birthday party, you do this, that, and third for your girl, and your birthday come around, she might just say, look, I'm gonna cook you dinner, maybe, you know, whatever. You can't be upset because you didn't throw a birthday party and, you know, and all of that, because that's what you did.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's not the same, and you can't always have the same expectations on people to reciprocate the energy the same way. Like, you can't hold somebody accountable for your truth until you tell them. You know what I'm saying? If you don't tell them that you want them to support it, and please put this out there for me, yo, do me a favor, share this for me. Yo, and if they tell you they're gonna do it and they don't do it, then you got an issue. But if you don't tell them, you really can't be upset because maybe they didn't know that you expected that.
I'll come back to that. SG.
So my standpoint, and I agree with everybody saying on both sides. My thing is, especially in the social media age, you know, we share stuff all the time. I mean, we share stuff that and as soon as I see something that's of interest to me, I share it, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, if I'm trying to push something, or whatever the case may be, or I have a venture or something like that, and I've already, you know, put it out, you know, to the masses, or whatever the case may be, if I don't see you supporting that or whatever, but yet you're supporting, you know, all these other things or whatever that you're shedding light to, I'm going to feel some type of way about that or whatever.
Okay.
So that's my biggest thing in that or whatever. So like, I want to see my people, you know, excel or whatever the case may be. So if I can be a part of that or whatever and promote whatever they're doing, I don't care how small it is or whatever and stuff, because that's their dream or whatever, or that's what they're trying to do or whatever. Who am I to knock what they're trying to do or whatever? Now, if they ask my opinion, I'm gonna give it, but I'm still gonna support or whatever the case may be. So I think that's a huge problem in our community. When you look at other people or whatever,
No, there's definitely a lack of support.
They you know, they promote.
There's a lot of
you know,
animosity, a lot of envious.
It's not an issue or whatever and stuff, but in our community, man, it's a huge problem or whatever, and we got to fix that.
Yeah.
Absolutely has to be fixed.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of it
Well,
is just crabs in a barrel mentality.
Blue. I mean, Big.
Yeah, yo. So I look at it through two different lenses, man. You got your social media lens and you got your real world lens, right? I'm more, me myself, anybody know me, I'm more of a real world type of person. And what I mean is, I'm more of a face-to-face, shake hands, let's get it done type of guy.
Hit my jack, fam.
Hit my jack. You know what I'm saying? So you know, if somebody I'm close with got something going on, and I'm local, or just if I'm in the area, period, I don't care if I'm just passing through. You know, I'm gonna support one by finance. I'm gonna come through and spend some money with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna support two by, hey, give me your flyer. Now I'm handing this out to everybody in my family, everybody I know, like, hey, check my man out. Right. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I mean? I'm great at that. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's how I move. You know, like I say, I'm more of an up close and personal type of person. Social media, if you check my social media pages, anybody, you will see that I don't post too much unless it's about my kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't really post. If you go on my page, it's probably been a long time since I even posted a picture of myself, my old lady, anything. You know what I mean? I just post pictures of my kids and their sports and what they have going on. Now, I understand that we live in the social media age. And I understand that a lot of people are starting online businesses and that they're able to find success with those online businesses from the support that they get online. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not oblivious to that. I'm just not a big social media person, so I might go a couple of days without being on social media. And so if your post didn't pop up and I didn't comment on it, or if I didn't share it, or if I didn't like it or whatever, don't hold that against me. You know what I'm saying? If you know me personally, if you know my character, don't have no ill will in your heart towards me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you know me, if you know my makeup, if you know that whole, you know what I'm saying? I know this guy. You know, that's the only thing I have against that type of stuff is, you know, sometimes we'll hold something in our heart against somebody that you know, like you done been in the trenches with, but when it comes to social media, if the social media thing didn't go like you wanted it to go or whatever, you might feel a certain type of way against that person, but you know this person, you've been in the trenches with this person, and I don't
Hit
feel
my
like
jack,
that's
fam.
just,
Hit
you
my
know what I'm
jack, fam.
yeah. Like hit my line. Like, you know what I mean? Like hit my line. You know what I'm saying? Let's really talk about it. Let me see how you really feel. Don't because if people did me like that, a lot of people would probably hate me. You know what I'm saying? Because I miss a lot of posts. I miss a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And so if somebody was to be like, yo, man, you didn't share this and you didn't comment on it, you this and that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people wouldn't like me because I miss some things. I don't comment on everything. Sometimes I might read a post and internalize my own little, I might read through the comments, internalize my own little perspective of it, and just keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? You know, it might have helped me through my day, or it might have helped me look at something a little differently. I just didn't feel like commenting on it. You know, that's just like being around a conversation and hearing people talking and not interjecting. You know what I'm saying? I'm just cool with sometimes just listening. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that type of guy, you know? So I look at it through double lenses, you know? I get it, you know what I'm saying? And don't get it twisted, though. Like, I did, like, fundraisers for my kids online, on social media and stuff. And it does feel good, man, when people share that stuff, or people comment and say, yeah, they want to support it. I get it. It feels real good. So I'm not against that, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely, you know, want to support anybody I'm close to, or black business, period. You know what I mean? I feel like we definitely should step up and support each other. All I'm saying is don't hold it against me if I didn't do something online or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, get with me, or at least check with me to see how I'm really feeling. You know what I'm saying? Or to see if I even saw that to make a decision on it. Because you never know what might happen or whatever. You know what I mean? If you call me and I'd be like, hey man, I just didn't support it because I ain't feeling it, then you will know, like, okay, you felt right. Like, okay, he wasn't digging it. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But if you call me and I'm like, hey man, I ain't support it because I ain't see it, or I don't know what's going on, then you know there's no just feeling for you feeling the way you feel towards me. If you feeling like, damn, this supposed to be my guy, and he ain't do this, he do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if I may chime in before you go, Ro, to caveat off of what y'all saying, everybody doesn't get held to the same standard. Everybody does not, in my eyes, everybody doesn't get put on the same level of expectation. So if you say, going back to Anthony's point, people are held to expectations. That's the reason you gain certain relationships with certain people. To go back a few years ago, I stayed with Ro. I was in a situation and Ro let me stay at his crib. If I didn't meet expectations of being a friend that he could trust to be in his house, do you think I would have been in his house? So apparently expectations was met. So when people say you can't hold people to certain expectations, everybody gets held to certain expectations.
That's different. That's a little different.
That's not different.
That's a lot different.
That is not different because I hold certain.
Hold on, hey, let him go. Hold on, hey, let him go.
I hold certain people to certain expectations. If you on a certain level of relationship with me and you see me trying to do something, I shouldn't have to tell you nothing. If you see I'm in a messed up situation, I shouldn't have to tell you nothing because you see it.
So my thing is this: that the analogy you just used in terms of expectation, it doesn't necessarily apply to the situation. So my expectation is that you would reciprocate energy, right? The initial topic we were talking about is why doesn't somebody support me or my business the way I would support them or their business?
That wasn't the topic. Why don't we support each other?
That's what you said initially. That's the whole conversation.
No, that was me making it personal.
Right.
That's not the topic.
But the topic was why we don't support each other. Right. So, but it went. You gave a personal experience in certain people, and because your expectation, your disappointment, right? Because you held them to, you have a certain expectation of these people that you're disappointed because they didn't reciprocate the energy in the same way that you would. Now, the scenario you just gave in terms of, yo, if I wasn't the type of friend that Ro thought I was, you think I would be living in his house. Now, my thing, that is different it would only apply if you said, yo, I met his expectations, so I live here. But while I was living here, I didn't bathe. I didn't clean up after myself. Did you still meet those expectations?
No.
Right. You wouldn't, and then you wouldn't be living there no more. So
Correct.
It doesn't apply. We're talking a cause and effect. We're not talking about, you meeting a requirement to get a pass through the gate. Right? Those are two different scenarios you just gave.
No, because of the fact
you
that
said I paid my fare so I can live here.
I get it. I get what you're saying. My thing is this. How everybody looks at certain things, like somebody told me, everybody don't view things the way I do. I get that. Right. That's common sense. We all don't view things the same. We're talking about supporting each other. When we start talking about stuff on the grand scheme of things, when we're talking about coming together as Black people and on a littlest scale, you don't even support your man that's next to you. How can I trust you going to support this bigger scale thing?
Right.
When you're not even supporting your man that's right next to you.
I'm 100% with you. But my thing is, don't let your first reaction to be, oh, you didn't support me, I don't fuck with you no more. Let me go, yo, bro, listen, what's up? Like, we talked about it. I said, yo, my bad. It was what it was. It went out there. You can't, like I said, you can't hold people responsible for your expectations when they didn't know those are your expectations, right? Everybody doesn't move the same way you move.
I will say this, though. I will say this, though. You know what I mean? Anybody that's close to me, if you see me struggling and do not offer a helping hand.
We're not talking about struggling.
No, I'm just saying, though, you know what I mean? Like, no, that's you know what I mean? Like,
that goes without saying, though.
Like, no, yeah.
Scoop me a couple dollars.
Yeah, no, I mean, fuck the money. Like you said, roll, let them stay with them, whatever. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying now, that me, now I'm gonna take that really, really personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, now if I own a bar and you don't never come buy a drink,
right?
I don't care. Like, you just came to my kid's house last week for my kid's birthday party. You part of my family. Like, you somebody I hold close. You know what I'm saying? If like I heard Jada just saying the song on his new album. He's like, yo, if I dap you up and hug you, just know I love you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you know what I mean? If you're around my family, if you're around my family or whatever, just know, you know what I'm saying? We got a certain bond. There's love there. So if you don't come to my business and buy a t-shirt or buy a cup or whatever, I'm not gonna hold that against you. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you out here bad-mouthing trying to tear me down, I'm gonna hold that against you. And like I said, if you see me struggling, I don't care if you see me struggling, period. If you don't reach down to help me up, then I'm gonna feel a type of way about that. Because you know what I'm saying, I'm the type of cat, I'm gonna give you the shirt off my back. That's no lie. Anybody know that. You know what I'm saying? Bro. So I'm gonna feel a type of way about that.
Yeah, bro. I think, it's I see both sides of it, right? But like for me, when staying on the topic, when they say about, we're talking about us supporting each other. And I kind of look at it like what Sean was saying. It starts with our inner circle. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I know that one of you are trying to do something, whatever it may be, I might not even be into that, but I'm going to try to support you. Whether that's shouting you out, whether it's like a big thing, whether that's me coming by and breaking bread, spending money with you, you know what I mean? Or me just turning other people on to whatever you got going on. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think that we have to start within our inner circle. Now, one thing Ant said, just because, I have somebody that I expected to support me a certain way and they don't, I don't think there's ground to just stop messing with them, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's a conversation to be had. And I think that kind of like Sean said, we all place a different type of expectation on people, right? Mm-hmm. I have a certain expectation from Biggs that I may not have from somebody else just because of what we've been through. You get what I'm saying? And like he said, if you in his inner circle, you know him, he know me. You know what I'm saying? And you got to take that into consideration. Like, yo, I know Sean. He's this way. He going to want me to, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We got to take that into consideration. Because that's kind of how you got in that inner circle. You know what I mean? So I think that we got to look at it both ways. I mean, also, like you said, if my man's, we're not going to talk about it.
Yo, S-Dot.
I expect you to support me. You know what I mean? No different than you going out and supporting somebody else. You know what I mean?
And something real quick too,
but again,
I don't mean to cut you. Hold on. I don't mean to cut
you.
Right, now you know what I'm saying? Something real quick too. I think a lot of us maybe don't understand because we've not ventured out and tried to start nothing like that. So we don't understand what that, not that we don't understand what support means. Everybody, we're grown men. We understand what it means to support each other. But you know, maybe I don't know that feeling per se of me launching something or starting something and not having somebody share it or like it or whatever. So maybe, you know what I mean, I'm commenting, but if I did launch something or whatever, maybe I would feel the same way once I started seeing that it wasn't, the love wasn't being shown, that in my mind anyway, or if nobody wasn't liking or sharing it, maybe I would feel a certain type of way too. So I'm gonna just back up and say that, throw that in there. You know what I'm saying?
So let me add to that, Biggs. So say somebody didn't share, post, or like or whatever, that doesn't necessarily, you could have called that same person the very next day and said, yo, I need $100. I'm selling shirts, or I've got this going on. And they may support that way. It doesn't mean they don't support you. They maybe just didn't support you in the way and time in which you wanted it. You understand?
I think the main thing that Sean is saying is, what kind of support can he get from you without asking you?
Yeah.
Right.
Especially on the strength of who he is, and you know who he is.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's got to be a certain level of support I can get from you now without you picking up the, like I said, like if I know that Roe got a business where he lives, and I'm driving through there going to New York or something, wherever I'm going.
We got to do better.
You stopping through.
We got to do better.
Without him
Naturally,
asking me,
we got to do
without
better.
him asking me, I got to stop through. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, that goes without saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like so I get it as far as what kind of support is you going to show me without me having to ask you? Like, because if I have to ask you, then it kind of feels like I'm kind of making you a little bit
obligated, a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? So now
you got him in a bad way.
Show me some support, some love that I didn't ask for. I get that all day long. Show me, like, do something that I ain't have to ask you to do. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you got to pick up the phone and ask somebody for $100.
I'm gonna tell you
those are facts. Those are facts. Those are facts.
And it goes back to the saying that the people that care the most tend to get hurt the most, because you care more, so you do more, and you tend to get let down more. And that's naturally in life. People with the biggest hearts that care the most for people always get let down because people don't meet the same standards. And that's just the reality of life.
I'll tell you about myself. I think I'm just a little bit selfish, fam.
And some people are. And
yeah, and here's what I mean by that.
I like
the honesty.
I like the realness there. I like that. I like that.
It's not a malicious thing either.
Let me tell you what I mean by that. You know what I mean? I get wrapped up in my day, fam. You know what I mean?
It's not malicious.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this. You know what? I had 15 seconds. I had 30 seconds. I had a minute. You know, I had 5 minutes. But you know what? I decided, you know what? Like you said, I'm scrolling through. I might see the joint. And I keep scrolling. You know what? Why didn't stop? And that's what I mean by, you know what? We got to do better, because I already know my man Ro, he on some positive shit. My man Sean, he on some positive shit. They trying to start this podcast. I seen the shit. Why I ain't stop? Because I got some other shit, you know what? I was trying to get down here and do. You know what? Why I ain't stop? Why I ain't take that minute? That 2 minutes. So try to bring it back full circle. That's what I mean by we gotta do better. Because honestly, I knew what you was doing was gonna be dope.
Yeah,
that's true.
I ain't paused.
That's a more genuine answer that I can respect. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like even if just from the standpoint of even when we first launched it or whatever, it's like, yo, just shoot us your feedback.
Yeah.
Comment, you know what I mean? Like negative, positive, whatever it is. Like, because we trying to do something. We were trying to
take the time.
In the midst of the pandemic, when everybody was home, is when this popped off.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So y'all ain't got a minute to be like, yo, let me check my boy out. Let me check my fam out, see what they're doing. Let me give them some feedback so y'all can do this better. Or I would like to see y'all do that. Like, it's not like with everybody. I don't hold everybody to a certain, I'm held to a certain standard with certain people. I am. That's the fact of the matter. I don't care who you are. So we can sit here and act like, play semantics with the words of holding people to certain standards. People are held to standards, or they wouldn't be in your life. If our core values didn't line up in the beginning, we wouldn't be where we at now. None of us would be friends now if our core values in the beginning didn't line up.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think another thing too, to look at it from a wider lens.
Exactly.
I was doing some research, and it was like, within blacks in America have a gross income of 1.3 trillion a year, but only 2% of that is recirculated within the black community. Yo, we gotta do better.
These are
bro.
facts. I mean, these
You know what I
are.
mean? We gotta do better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for
Why is
example,
that?
I had a conversation with
That's not all by default
I
though.
had a conversation with Sean earlier, and I was telling him about, a lot of people are jumping on the black-owned businesses and all that stuff now. I know myself, I've been on that for years now. When I first moved in this area, me and my fiance looked up every black-owned restaurant, and our goal was to make sure we go there and support, and we still do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's dope.
To
That's
me,
dope.
that's the big scale of things we need to get on. I get it, we're talking about the show or whatever, but
Yeah.
as a whole, we gotta
Nah, I
start
ain't never did nothing like that.
go out and we gotta start supporting each other. When it comes
I ain't
to
never did nothing like that.
the improvement that I had at my house, all the work that I had done in my house was done by somebody black. You know what I mean? Like, I just recently went outside and I got a Hispanic dude to do my yard now, but before that, he was black. You know what I mean? And
Close enough.
and
Yo, his parents is black too, yo.
I got another point. And another thing is, like, when I had the black guy that was doing my yard, there was times that he messed up. You know what I mean? That I had issues. But I think as black people, we can complain about Walmart 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So even though that guy I was having issues with it, the conversation I had to have with him, I kept giving him the doubt until finally. But I think sometimes in the black community, we'll go to that black restaurant and the food cold one time, and you say you're done.
Right.
Nobody else about it.
Right.
But you go to Walmart. I know you've been in McDonald's and your fries were cold a couple times.
Come on, man. 50% of the time, it's a roll of the dice.
And I think
You get hot fries or cold.
I'm gonna shoot back there in a couple more days, though.
It's McDonald's we talking about.
Yeah, it's McDonald's we're talking about.
point.
You can't give up Big Macs forever. Come on.
Like, what you trying to prove?
So I mean, those are the things that we gotta do better at. You know what I mean?
No, but that's dead serious.
Nah, that's a fact. We gotta support each other more.
That was just.
I think the thing is, though, we're set in our ways. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you took the time to actually find the black-owned businesses in your area and actually go support them.
Right.
Most people move to an area. We're gonna do the norm. I shop at Food Line more than I shop at Walmart. I'm gonna find the Food Line. I'm gonna go shop there. I shop at certain clothing stores. I'm gonna try to find that when I get there. Like, I think we're set in our ways, but we have to break the cycle.
Right.
That's right. What you're doing, we have to break the cycle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's real.
That's really what it was about. Like, I started off using this. Like, this wasn't the topic, the show itself, but I was just using the personal experience about how I feel about the support. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it an uphill battle? And I think Biggs kind of answered it a bit there. Like, we kind of set in our ways.
Yeah, that's what
Go
it
ahead,
is.
SG.
And the ads.
SG, go ahead.
One of the things that I also too that I think needs to be highlighted that I've seen and have an issue with. Stop looking from a discount from your people or whatever. I see that all the time, and I've seen it a lot here lately or whatever. Like, and and then going back to it's okay to have constructive criticism or whatever and stuff, but talk to that person directly or whatever. Don't badmouth them in their business or what they're trying to do to everybody or whatever, because you're already knocking them down or whatever when they're trying to come up and everything. Right. So the support comes from many different directions and everything and stuff. So either you're gonna support me 100% or you're not gonna support me at all or whatever and stuff. So don't kill what I'm trying to do or whatever to the masses, because especially if it's someone that others know that, like, for instance, if y'all doing something and now I badmouth you, everybody knows that I know it. So they're like, well, dang, maybe he knows something that I don't know or whatever the case may be and stuff. So we got to be careful about that, the crabs in the bucket mentality or whatever. We got to be careful about that in the Black community.
Right. Riley, you said nothing.
Where you at, sir?
Like I've constantly had this conversation with with wifey quite a few times because she's part of the organization, and I think it goes like she gets real like temperamental when it comes to like support, because she's trying to do different things, or when she tries to do something and she doesn't get the support that she feels like she needs from her sorors and whoever. I'm like, well, babe, I'm going to be real with you. I think your expectations are high, but you also have to understand that you're dealing with certain people. I mean, granted, y'all came through together, y'all part of an organization together, and I get it, but people are people. So whether they're going to support you or not, hey, maybe you need to sit down and have that discussion with them the same way I had that discussion with her, same way we're having this discussion like amongst each other right now. Because you never know, even though you cross a line with somebody or y'all go through the trenches with somebody, doesn't mean you particularly know that person. So it's best to go ahead, if you feel like we have a connection or whatever, I should come to you and be like, hey, you remember when I had this event or whatever, you could have just shot me back and been like, hey, I won't be able to make it. I would respect that more than you not answering at all. But then the next time I see you, like, hey, what's up? Don't what's up me?
Right.
Because I'm like, we need to talk about something.
Right.
And I feel like that's the realest way to possibly go about any situation. All you had to do is pretty much ask me, hey, shout me out on this, or let people know that we got this too easy, boom, boom. And because I know y'all dudes and I trust y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because I went through it with y'all. We already know our history and all. I'm like I said, just not meeting SG, I'm meeting General, meeting Ann and all this other stuff. But in this circle, I'm like, okay, there's some good brothers. If they put something out there, I'm going to support it. But like I also said too, if it's somebody I barely even know, or if it's something that you're trying to actually do, I'm like, hey, what? Present it to me. Let me hear it. And I give you my honest feedback about it. Whether it's good.
Man, you should expect that less. If my man throws some shit out here, that shit gonna be whack on the streets. I'll be like, look, fam.
I'm gonna give you a look. My nonverbal speak louder than my words sometimes. I'm gonna just maybe look at you and be like, okay, maybe you want to, go about it a different way or whatever, but you're gonna get an honest assessment from me.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Bro, I don't play no games. Look, this is what you're gonna hear about it.
I think that's all anybody should ask for.
I hope so.
Whether it's constructive criticism, positive, like you said, like I know people that's on my page that the products that they are either selling or involved with, they do me no good at all. Like I got one young lady, Rosalind Ogburn, who's on my page. She sells hair, wigs, and eyelashes. That does me absolutely no good.
Exactly.
But she trying to do her thing. Share.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of females on my page. You know what I'm saying? My daughter's into eyelashes and stuff now. So
just like General said, man, we gotta do better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got to do better, man. It's really no excuse for not supporting other black businesses. You know what I'm saying? Period. You know what I mean? It's no excuse for that, man. The black dollar is probably the most powerful dollar in America. We spend more money than anybody. So why not spend some of that?
Because we're going to spend it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
we spend more money on bullshit than anything.
We're going to spend it.
Yeah.
Hey, Riley, I don't mean to put your business out there, Riley. You just bought something today. What you bought today, sir?
I got me some sneakers. I gotta catch up with somebody.
Oh, wait a minute.
Even if it was black owned, I gotta get them sneakers.
What we got?
Hey, I gotta catch up with somebody right now.
What we got?
He out there supporting the white man as we speak.
What do we got?
I'm supporting black and white. This is Jordan.
Oh no, brother, you can't sell that to me.
Oh man, we gonna slide into the next topic. What we doing?
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
All right, so I think this is probably a good topic to slide off into. With the murder of George Floyd being the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, do you think we will now begin to be more united as a people? Boy, Ro, send it around, bro. Send it around.
Who we start with?
SG, you start with you.
So I will say on the surface, it looks like we're coming together. or whatever, but we still have, you know, issues within our own community or whatever that's, you know, kind of being viewed in a bad light as well. So that kind of takes away from it. But I really think with this whole George Floyd thing, and the way we lost that brother, we're seeing, you know, our community react in a way that we haven't reacted before, or whatever, or in a while, you know. And so
in a while, yeah, we done acted up a couple times.
But you know, it's on a wide scale now. You know, with the Rodney King thing, that was mainly just in L.A. and everything. But now this whole George Floyd thing is worldwide or whatever.
Go back to the '60s. It was coast to coast in the '60s too.
Well,
when they was burning down everything.
right. You know, but I mean, we have a huge opportunity here or whatever with this to come together, and if we don't capitalize off of that or whatever, then, you know, it could be a detriment, and we could lose something very valuable. So we need to definitely focus on that. And in my opinion, it has the potential to bring us closer together, but everybody has to be of the same collective mind.
You got Ant?
Ant, what you got?
I mean, I think it's a process. I mean, I think in order to really truly have unity, you need to have some type of infrastructure. You need to really have a community, which we don't have. We don't have a community. You know, we got places where we live, but we don't own the community. You need to really take over some of these corner stores and, you know, these mom and pop shops that are actually in our neighborhood, and we need to run these businesses. You know, we need to run the Walmarts, and we need to run these businesses so that way we actually have a community where we go to places and we go to these stores and there's people we know that's our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? The police officers that are in our communities need to be from our community. When we live amongst these people, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to do us dirty because they have to live with us. You know, it's like I'm the super, I'm an employee, but I'm also your neighbor. So I have to balance a fine line between being, you know, a neighbor and being friendly and being hospitable and having a certain amount of relationship, but also drawing a fine line between what's business. You know what I mean? Where do I draw the line and say, nah, I can't do that right now. Now I have to be a super, and, you know, or now I could be your friend. You know what I mean? Until we have that, it's going to be really hard to have community because everybody can be clawing to get out and fighting amongst themselves and constantly being oppressed and there's no resources. You know, how can we have community where everybody's fighting to get up? Everybody wants to just live a good life. Until circumstances change and infrastructure changes and we can truly have a community where we feel loved, we're not afraid to go out, we don't got to worry about our kids, how are we going to be together?
So my question to you is like, so how do we start though?
How do we start? We start changing some of the policies that's in place that allow all of these Yemenis and every store we go to is what up, Ak, yo Aki. We stop letting all of these. We gotta stop them from coming in here, running these businesses, and stop they got it's all the Chinese restaurants, right? They run those. The corner stores is run by the Arabs, and the liquor stores is run by the Jews or whatever it is. Like, it's segregated to a point where they have this position where we don't own anything in our community but debt.
So
that was strategically done too. That's
what I was going to say. I mean, I don't know how far we want to dive into this one. You know what I'm saying?
Now, when you want to talk about what that would look like, look at Black Wall Street.
But I'm saying, look at
Harlem.
Look at Harlem.
Look at Harlem.
Closer to home. Look closer to home.
That's where.
Look closer to home.
That's where it could be like. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I'm saying is,
but on a larger scale, they don't want that, because if we started to build and flourish and start to spend our amazing dollars on ourselves, and we start getting out of jail.
That's what I'm saying.
We start taking all of our brothers and sisters out of jail, who's giving them his free labor to run these major corporations.
We gotta take some part in this.
Come on.
So they ain't coming in here buying up the
We
stores.
definitely do. We definitely do got to take
They ain't
the
coming in here buying up the store. The store was for sale.
It's a three-dimensional approach. It's a three-dimensional approach to all of this shit. It's not one way. It's not one system. It's not one system. It's not
like
just
G
us.
said, but like G said, we can't complain when the Yemenis and the Japanese and the Arabs coming in our community buying up empty buildings and turn them into stores. The building was empty before they got there. What was we doing? Why we didn't step in and
You know what I'm saying?
They don't make it affordable for you. They
The
don't make it
store
available
was
to
for
you.
sale.
They don't make it available to you. You don't have the resources or the credit score to do it. You don't have the financial intelligence to position yourself.
Well, I ain't gonna say the credit score and all that, but I understand that certain foreigners get certain amounts of money to start businesses in America. I get that. That we should get, that we're not privy to. I get that. But if we know that, if we already know the obstacles that we're up against and we want to create change, we're gonna have to either come together and pool some money together, or somebody who, or the two cats in the group who got the highest credit score, we're gonna get to send y'all to the Wells Fargo to come back with the money, or whatever. Like whatever we got to do to start buying the block, we got to do that to buy the block, because we already know what we're up against. We already see the roadblocks in the road.
That's what they
can't
do.
just stop at the roadblock and just be like, yo, there's a roadblock here. We got to stop here.
Yo.
We got to say, all right, how can we get around? How can we keep going? We know they're not gonna give us the money. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be like 20 Vietnamese in one house.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
only when everybody's eating and equal that you're gonna have unity. Because until then, there's always gonna be competition.
So it's always gonna be competition.
I think that's a mentality. I think
that is a mentality.
That's a mentality. That's a mentality. That's almost a crab in the barrel mentality.
But people are always going to compete until they feel comfortable.
In a greed mentality. That's what that is.
That's what that is too.
Not necessarily in a greed, but if people are not living comfortably and other people are.
I agree with you on this one. It's always going to be competition. I don't
think it's going to be competition until everybody has their equal, until everybody has their fair share.
What is a fair share? Nobody's ever going to have a fair share, in my opinion. In my opinion.
Yeah, so can I go
what
back
I'm saying is, until people can just live at peace, and until we have that community, where we really have that community where your uncle is running the store in the corner and everybody know your uncle since they was little. There's gonna be no drama at that corner store. There's gonna be no beef, there's gonna be no fights, there's gonna be no gambling, there'll be none of that.
But the point is, how did you get to that? And to me, my answer is the local government. We're talking about different laws that are in place. So my thing is how we get that community that you're talking about is going to those city council meetings, voting on your local politician. Because when I hear us, we talk about that. How many of us have been to a local city meeting or whatever the case may be? We don't go. But I bet when you decide to go, you know who's there? Those Asians. They're there with their feet on their necks, well, per se, with those politicians. You get what I'm saying? That's how we do it. You got to go in there and you got to be proactive. You know, for example, there's a shopping center about 1.5 miles from my house. Walmart wanted to come there. The community would say, no, they didn't want a Walmart here because there's too much traffic. You get what I'm saying? You know how they stopped? And we're talking about Walmart.
Yeah. They
stopped it because the community went to those meetings.
Oh, once that Walmart come in? Fam, it's busted.
No, we don't want a Walmart in our community. You get what I'm saying? So that's how we do it. I mean, we can get on here, we could talk about, once you get, we own the block, but how do you get to that? And I think that we got to change our mentality. Because what I've learned is that it's local government.
Local.
Where you make your money at. And I talked to, I met a couple of politicians in the last couple of years. And whether we like it or not, we got to learn the game. And ask the question, you know what make politicians move? Money.
Money.
You know what I'm saying?
What make anything move? Don't that move but the money.
You may not like it, but those Asians, they put their money together and they support those politicians. Like, look, not only do we put you in office, but your charitable organization that you got, we donated $100K to it. Don't mess with us.
Come on.
We gotta learn the game and we gotta play the game better. A lot of times we talk about, but just talking about how the game is played and not getting involved in the game, nothing's gonna change.
Well, I'm gonna say this real quick and I'll be done.
Go ahead.
We don't like to pool our resources as black people, and that's where our problem comes in.
We don't trust nobody.
We don't like to pool our resources. They come together, fam.
Right.
When it's time to be on, I'm
'cause we don't have
Vietnamese.
trust.
I'm down with the whole Vietnamese. Everybody Vietnamase over here.
We
If
lack
you ain't
trust.
Vietnamese,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Black people lack
'Cause
trust.
everybody
When
black-
it's time to be
everybody black
on,
wanna be top
if you a
dog.
Jew, everybody over here. If you not a Jew, everybody. When it's time to be on,
Yeah. Not the
Everybody
Vietnamese
black
though.
wanna
Not
be
the
top dog.
Vietnamese though.
damn.
The only reason black people don't pool their resources and put their money together is because nobody trusts each other.
But that's on us though. That's
Yeah.
No trust. That's not
It's on us
all.
to
That's
fix
not
it, nigga.
100%. That's not 100% on us. But
It
Well,
is
I don't
now.
think time where you gotta become
if I don't trust
accountable.
you, if I don't trust you as a black man, I can't blame the white man and the Asian.
Yeah,
No.
I think it is now. I think we're at the point where, yeah,
That's on
it's
us.
on us. Yeah, it's on
It's
us.
time for it to be on
I
us.
think it's a state of mind that has not been broken down yet. It's part of the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Society has taught us to hate each other, and we've carried that along, and we carry that
Thank you.
along and pass that
Thank you.
down.
That's where
And
the
another thing too,
mistrust comes from.
and another thing too is black people don't teach finance to our kids.
Right.
Like
That's true.
we wait till we're adults to talk about learning how to go sit in these meetings and talk with these politicians and stuff like that. Man, I guarantee you, white kids is learning about this stuff early.
But you know what?
I'm saying?
We the
They're learning about
generation that's
finances.
doing that. We are doing that different.
We got to be the generation to start to change. You know what I'm saying? But it's a slow change, but we just got to be patient. Are we patient enough to go through it? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, it's that state of mind too. You know, everybody black want to be the top dog, and that meaning said is I don't want to. Now I'm not just saying me per se, but I'm just speaking in general. Because I'm black, I don't want to go in with 10 other black dudes and put my money together with these dudes and we start a business together because now I got to split my money 10 ways. I'd rather go ahead and try to scramble and scrape forever just to get up another couple of dollars to invest in a less lucrative business just so I can call it my own, and I'm making less money anyway. Because everybody black got that mentality where they want to be king, they want to be the top dog, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. We got to break that because that's not really realistic in today's society. You know what I'm saying? How many shareholders or board members does Walmart have? How many shareholders or board members do Wells Fargo have? The banks, man, it's not realistic the way we think. You know what I'm saying?
Strength in numbers.
Black people would never come together and be like, hey man, let 5 of us, all our families, buy this house and all of us live here. And while we live here, everybody stack their money up. And now, 5 to 7 years from now, another one of these
we out here.
go buy another house. And then but we'll never think like that.
We gotta show the attention span. Go ahead, baby.
Because nobody wants Tyrone. Because nobody wants Tyrone with his crusty feet on the coffee table. You know what I'm saying?
Fam.
Niggas be disrespectful sometimes, yo.
we got a short attention span too. Like I remember me, Ro, and some brothers sat down a couple years ago, roundtable meeting we called it. We was talking about business and just pretty much kind of like the same thing we doing now, but we was on a different level of conversation at that point. I think by the time we left wherever we was at, that was it.
That was it.
We ain't talk about it no more. Like we got a short attention span. We got to actually come up with a plan. So everything that we talking about now, like everything we talking about now, we actually got to stick to it. Like stick to it. Like these are everybody in here. I would say I got a level of trust.
That's why they call it investments. We gotta invest. That's why they call it investments. This ain't gonna be nothing that's gonna happen.
You ain't gonna hold to it until you got your money in it.
Yeah, that's why they call it an investment. You know, I 100% agree. Yeah,
you gotta be invested. Right.
I mean, I think another thing too, man. I think sometimes a black community is so afraid of failure. We're so afraid of what others gonna say that we have good ideas and stuff, and we don't move forward. You get what I'm saying? For example, this podcast. You know how long it's been people telling me and Sean to do a podcast? Until finally we like, you know what? Let's do it. If it turns out good, so well. If we don't, we did it. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times people are afraid of failure. They're afraid of people having negative things to say. But a lot of your most successful business owners and those billionaires, they didn't care what people said. You know what I'm saying? They had a vision. You know what I mean? They know what they want and they went after it. You know what I mean? I think sometimes in the Black community, we sometimes that little bit of criticism and we lose focus.
Right.
There's a lot of dream killers in the Black community, man.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
A lot
fam,
of dream killers.
personally,
A
I
lot
don't
of
want to
dream
fail.
killers, a lot of people that tell you can't do it and tell you how hard it's gonna be. Because in all actuality, it really is hard. And sometimes we take that negative, what you think is negative criticism, and it gets you down, but you gotta use that shit as fuel, man. Because it is gonna be hard. It's gonna be harder than it probably should be. Because that's just the way the system. That's because the way the system is, and it's not his fault for telling you that.
I think the Black ego is detrimental to our community, man.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? I
Goddamn
think
right.
the Black
Right.
ego is killing.
you're right about that.
It's
I
a
agree.
major problem, man.
Talk
You
to
know
him.
what I'm saying? Like,
I think
You know what I'm
Big.
saying?
Oh, go ahead, Big. Go ahead, bro.
yeah, you know
Hell
what I mean?
yeah.
Just as black men, man, we're just real egotistical, man. You know what I'm saying? Just period. I know at times I can be. You know, I'm getting to a point in life now where I don't really care what people say. And I know people say that a lot, where I don't care what people say.
But
And
you
I've
do.
said that in the past. Yeah. And I've said that in the past, and then somebody say something, and I'll be like, you know what? I don't like what the fuck you just said. Excuse my French. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? But now I am getting to the point where I'm like, you know what, man? That's your opinion. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're not, you know what I'm saying, putting food on my plate or whatever. I really don't care what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And if we let our pride and our ego go, man, we can accomplish so much. You know, as men, we can come together. It's the ego and the pride that's standing in the way of us coming together, man. You know what I mean? I know it is.
And that was this discussion right here is a prime reason me and Ro wanted to put the podcast together, for us to have these conversations, to create this dialogue, for us to be able to actually do something with it and just not talk about it.
Yeah.
But actually, let's get out of this. Let's get out of the podcast. When the podcast is over, and let's actually like start implementing stuff. Let's really
No
talk
doubt.
about it, and not just in this podcast, and that's the end of the conversation. We won't talk about it no more.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got anything, SG, Riley, before I transition?
No, let's go.
Oh, you good?
Okay, since you threw this one out here, SG, you
Uh-oh.
can pop this one off. Protesting versus looting versus rioting.
Oh, goodness. Hold on. I'm gonna refresh my beverage.
Hey,
Oh,
General,
man.
I need one of yours, brother.
Man,
I
we
might have to
could
call into the
go,
house.
man, we could go all, man, in so many different directions with this. You know, here's my thing, or whatever. People was, all up in arms about Target or whatever and all this stuff and everything. Damn Target, whatever. They gonna be all right. They gonna be all right. Whatever. The mugs ain't losing no doggone money, man. They'll be all right.
Right.
Whatever. But the thing about this or whatever, with the protests and everything that's going on or whatever, it was like a what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever, things just started boiling over or whatever and stuff. And so people are seeing the frustration. Now, granted, you have some people out there, whatever, that was took advantage of the situation or whatever and trying to, get a come up or whatever the case may be. I wasn't with that. But cats burning stuff down, I'm not mad at that or whatever stuff, because that's the frustration coming out. People are pissed off or whatever. People are hurt or whatever. And so now, when we tried to do the peaceful protest, you didn't want to hear us or whatever. So now we're going to force you to listen to us or whatever. And so that's what these protests and the rioting and all that stuff is about. But then you have these other people or whatever that's coming in just to start shit or whatever and stuff. And the problem with that is, or whatever, now you're grouping everybody in. The protesters, you're grouping them in with the people that's coming in and doing and starting the riots or whatever, and that's taken away from the whole reason of what we're trying to accomplish and getting our voices heard. So that's the thing that has been boiling my blood since all this stuff started going on and everything, because the media, of course, they pushing their agenda, and 45 as well. And so, but that's a whole nother topic. But You know, that's the thing. Like we're out here protesting, and you know, we hitting the streets, you know, all across the country, all across the world, and everything. But I have no problem with people, you know, taking it up a notch, because it needs to be taken up another notch.
Riley?
Can I go next? Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead, Biggs. Go ahead, Biggs. You ready? Go ahead, Biggs.
Yeah.
The chamber.
Yeah. The chamber, man.
Hey, he had it at the ready, huh?
Yeah.
Because, okay, check it out, man. It was the last topic that we brought up. The topic was you know, discussing how we felt about the George Floyd thing, and that we felt that we come together. And you know what I'm saying? I think we kind of got off topic. So, but I'm gonna branch into, because the protesting and stuff goes along with the reason why we're protesting is because of the George Floyd killing or whatever. I'm gonna put it like this, you know, as black people, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get back on topic. I'm gonna let y'all, that's why I said what I said. I'm gonna get back on topic, you know what I'm saying? But first off, I want to start off with this. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I feel real proud when I turn on the news and see 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever, black people in the streets marching together, standing together, fighting together for a positive cause. I love it. You know what I'm saying? On the flip side of it, we had one of the most deadliest shootings in North Carolina in this year so far last night. And I think in Chicago they had one on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? That hurt my heart. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out a way to change that. You know what I'm saying? So while this positive stuff is going on, we got to figure out a way to change that. But as far as the rioting, the looting, and the protesting, like I said, I'm proud, man. It makes me feel good as a black person to see it. I love it. I love being a part of it. I'm not protesting as much because I'm not gonna lie, I got a big fear of coronavirus. But
that corona? That corona?
But I love it. I love watching. I love seeing it. The riding, I'm with that. I just feel like let's aim the riding at the people that are causing the pain. So with that being said, you know, if we're gonna burn something down, let's go burn down a courthouse. Let's go burn down a police station.
Yeah, they did a good job of that.
Let's go burn down something like that. That's really, you know what I'm saying? When you build this back up in mind with, hey, if y'all don't do right, we come to burn it back down again. See what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
They did good about that.
Something like that. Now the looting, I understand these stores got insurance or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So most of the stores are gonna be all right. Now I have seen clips of some black-owned businesses where I feel like every business have insurance, but I've seen some clips where, you know, I see the old man in the streets crying, man, talking to the people like, hey, he's a black man and now he's done. He's finished off of what happened. You know what I'm saying? That hurts, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that hurt. You know what I'm saying? That man been grinding and putting his all into getting that business off the ground, and now he has nothing to fall back on, and he feels like he's done. That was his world. That hurts. So I can't get with the looting because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like the big stores, whatever, Walmart, man, tear them, clear them out. I don't care.
Smash that shit.
You know what I'm saying? But the local stores, the mom and pop joints, especially if we protesting because of black injustice, you know what I'm saying? We can't be out here tearing down black people, man, black-owned businesses and stuff like that, and then say we're doing it for the cause. That's not part. There's no way that could be for the cause. You know what I'm saying? You causing more black pain.
You know, I will say this. I don't think the looting was for a cause, but you know, it's part of the process. There's no way, you know, when you have, you know, this, like I said, this reminds me of Rodney King all over again. You know, shit just started to spread, fam. It wasn't no organization, wasn't no one leader, wasn't no, you know, no certain cause. Yo, people were just pissed. You know what? I'm finna run out here in these streets, you know what I'm saying? And then you running around. Next thing you know, you caught up. Oh, you know, we going down here. Next thing you know, they running in the Nike store. Oh, I'm in there too. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to get caught up in these situations, man. I would say I'm definitely proud that, you know what, look, like, I don't even know if enough is the right thing to even fucking say. Shit been enough, you know what I'm saying? Shit happens every year, all year, every day. You know what I'm saying? But I guess if it gotta happen, then now it's fine.
If I may chime in real quick before I come to you, Riley, I just want to say something real quick. I agree with pretty much everything that SG and Big said and what General just said. I think where the looting comes into play is when you're dealing with people that are in inner cities and they already in a struggling situation. Some of the people, if they see an opportunity to come up, they're gonna utilize that opportunity to come up. Now, I'm not saying I agree with it or I'm justifying it, but that's when you get the looting that starts to come into place. That's a lot of that people that's already in, they struggling financially. So if they see a way to come up, they're gonna use that as a way to come up. So there's
what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? You want me to tell them not to come up? You know what I'm saying?
And the rioting and the looting, there's a difference. There's a separation between all of that. But when you start attaching the looting to it, that's why nobody in the rich neighborhood gonna be looting because they already good.
True.
Straight, man. I'm at the crib.
I remember when this thing initially kicked off, because I actually went live about it, talking about the George Floyd incident and all that. And one of the things I mentioned was, where do we go from here? Let's have a peaceful protest. Let's go out here and stand up for what's right. A few days later, that's when, the protests started going on in different cities and around the world and all that other stuff. And then I was downtown Fayetteville when they actually was in the midst of the protest. So I stood, a couple blocks back, we just watching, seeing what's going on and all that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, this shit about to get ugly. And I'm thinking about it because the place where we were, it's called the Marketplace. Now, if anybody who doesn't know about the historical monument down there called the Marketplace, that was a depot for slaves.
They sold the slaves?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a depot. And that place is still up. It's been up for years. So I know y'all probably seen the video of how the dude burned himself up, trying to crazy as hell. Either way, I knew at some point it was gonna go left. After that, we came home. Then you start hearing about how people broke into Walmart, how people broke into JCPenney, and all this other stuff. So I had to really look at this. I'm like, all right, I'm all about protesting, standing up for what's right, because as Black people, we've been oppressed for over 400 years. Over 400 years. And even going as far back as 6 years ago with, Trayvon Martin and, Eric, all this other stuff that's been going on. And we've been trying. So now, it happened to Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and
it happened to me.
George Floyd.
Shit.
We're through. So it's time to protest. And I'm glad and I'm happy that it's hitting these other cities. I'm happy that it's hitting these other countries because we're tired. We're done. What more can we do? Because we're sick of all the bullshit that's going on with the injustice, the inequality, all this. We have rights too. The rioting, I'm like, hey, you gonna burn that shit down? Burn it down. Because especially for something like that, that's part of our history in a negative aspect, burn it down. It's the same way I've talked about with NASCAR. You see what they're doing about NASCAR? Getting rid of all the Confederate flags, the stars and bars. They get rid of all of that.
You see,
Like,
they
for
threw the noose in my man John.
Yeah, I seen that, and I'm like, yo, they're gonna do the investigation. Hopefully, they go about it the right way. So we're constantly making changes now. With the whole thing with the looting, I said, look, this is gonna turn into Black Friday real quick, and that's exactly what happened. They got over 100 photos from that Walmart right around the corner from the Marketplace.
Oh yeah. All them getting prosecuted.
And what's crazy is one girl became a meme. About 10, 15, 20 different memes, but I'm not all about the writing. I'm not looking for a quick come up. No, because at the end of the day, that quick come up, now
you're not doing that bad. You're not doing that bad though.
Because now,
if you hungry, fam. If you hungry, fam.
Yeah,
I mean, if you hungry, fam.
If you gonna loot, go to the grocery store and loot. Hell,
no. That's not what.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
yo, Riley, my question is this: instead of saying don't loot, what they doing? They shouldn't be doing that. Think about why is it that they looting? Like, why is it that they?
Like you said, I wasn't out looting. You wasn't out looting.
Hear me out. Why is it that they're looting and they feel like they need to run it in the sneaker stores and the clothing stores and the things like that, right? Because simply being because that's what they're associated with. That's their demon. That's their demon in the world. They striving to be this fashion icon. That's all they see in this world. That they fucking want to be like the rap star. They want to look like this, dress
I'm
like
not
this.
gonna give anybody an excuse for looting.
It ain't about it being an excuse.
Because it's a quick
There's
come
people
up.
that's gonna go out there and protest because that's their way, that's their age, that's what they relate to.
Or,
you know what I'm saying?
But like I
There's
did
people
say,
that's gonna go out there and riot and be violent because that's their age, that's where they're at, that's what they relate to.
but because it was young and old. But my whole thing is this: I'm not gonna give anybody an excuse for looting because of this point and this point only. If you want to quit come up, go ahead and do what you got to do. But for me, I've always worked hard for everything I tried to earn. I'm trying to teach that to my kids. So at the end of the day, if you want to loot,
Who say anything about it?
you're trying to uphold
you.
No, okay.
That's
so all of us don't have a 60. No, not all of us have a 60-inch flat screen in our house.
I mean, who said
Is that my
anything about
opportunity to
it?
go out there and go get it? No, not for me. No. Now let's go back to this though.
Who said anything about an
people-
excuse?
Because if you really wanted it, you could have it.
But okay, it might have to be in jail too. But at the end of the day, this is what
No,
I'm
I'm not
looking
saying
at.
about stealing
A
it,
lot
but
of
if you
people
really wanted it, you
hold
could
up,
get
Ed.
it. And you know
Hold
that.
up, Ed. What I'm saying is this: a lot of people took the opportunity to say they're going out there to protest, just to go out there and loot.
You said a lot of people?
I said
So
some
what?
people. I said a lot of people.
No, you said a lot of people.
Well, a lot of
Yeah, you
people.
said a lot of
Well,
people.
it was a lot of people just in that Walmart alone.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Hey, so
but it
be
were a
it.
lot of people across the country. Let's
Hey,
slow
it is
down
what
with
it
that.
is.
No,
Let's
but what
slow
I'm
down
saying
with
is-
that.
What I'm saying is, I'm not giving them an excuse. That's what I'm saying.
You don't gotta
if
give them an
they're-
excuse.
Hmm?
What excuse you gotta give them?
If they're using the protest,
What about
And
that? Who's
way to
using
go-
what? It's opportunistic. They're being it's
So-
an opportunity to come up. They're
hey,
struggling.
so you saying that's right?
No, it
Yo,
happens.
They're gonna come up.
So
It
no, that's
happens.
what I'm asking. What I'm asking is that right?
G-slide.
Right or wrong? You talking
Wrong,
about?
right or wrong, it is what it is. I don't care
I'm
about
saying
that.
it's
Yeah,
wrong.
you talking about right or wrong? Well, then it'd be wrong. Then fine, it's wrong.
That's what I'm saying. That's my
Then
opinion.
it's wrong.
What's going on?
I ain't asking everybody to agree with me. What I'm saying is, to my opinion, I'm thinking that is wrong. I mean, even if
Okay.
it is a quick come up or whatever, but I mean that's.
But
on
it's
them.
gonna happen.
Ain't
That's
on
what I'm
me.
saying. The reality of the situation is it's gonna happen.
I didn't say it wasn't. I never said it wasn't.
But
Maybe I'm missing something there.
I can chime in though, or whatever. But everybody, I mean, you're making the argument of saying that everybody that's looting is without, so to speak, or whatever.
Mhm.
I'm pretty
no.
sure there's plenty of
Right.
people that's looting that ain't off bad or whatever and stuff. They just seeing an opportunity.
Oh, they
They
was
like,
in
"Shoot,
Buckhead getting
man, them J's I've been eyeing or whatever and stuff. I'm about to go grab that, whatever and stuff. So it ain't just people that's poor or whatever and stuff like that that's out there looting. It's regular everyday people that probably got plenty of stuff in their doggone house. They just add to it or whatever the case may be. And not only that, like there's this guy that I follow that does home workouts and stuff, and he has his own gym. And he did a video last week. They had broke into his shop and stole all his weightlifting equipment and all that stuff. And he said a couple days later, somebody hit him up. People were selling it online.
That's
There was a website or whatever, and all his stuff got his initials on it and all that stuff and everything. And they were selling his stuff online just 2 days later, or whatever the case may be. So you know, that's my problem, you know, with the whole looter thing. I agree with Riley or whatever. Like, you know, I'm not gonna give people an excuse or whatever just because I mean, it's like I said, a lot of people just going out there just to grab something or whatever.
True indeed.
So
True indeed.
hey, let me. Here's the deal for me. So do I agree with the looting and the rioting? Am I out there doing that? No, I personally would not do that. Am I faulting those who do it? No, I'm not. I don't completely agree with it. But like Ant said, you know, we don't know their situation. You know what I'm saying? They might take an opportunity to get something. They struggling, whatever the case may be. We're not struggling, so of course none of us on this call.
Or you just got wrapped up.
But what I will say is that I think all three play a role in the movement.
And it's all
And the
necessary.
reason why I say that because if you go back to the civil rights movement, you go back to Selma, the world did not change because of the peaceful protests. What got everybody's attention was when the TV station was there, and they televised those black people getting beat and those white people getting beat the way that they was getting beat. That what made people change.
Yeah,
So my thing is, in history, it's dramatic incidents that causes change. Just a peaceful protest, nothing would have happened. And
violence would be peace.
because we've never seen in history where a peaceful protest alone changed anything. We are visual individuals.
Yeah.
So back in the civil rights, when they seen black people getting knocked upside the head, water holes down, it wasn't until the media displayed that for the world to see that change began to happen. So I'm not going to knock, even though I'm not doing it and I wouldn't do it. I think all three played a role in the momentum that we have. But
well, I did it. I ain't gonna lie, I did it.
I'm proud of the fact that
No, I'm serious, man. Back in '92, Rodney King shit. Yeah, I was caught up. I was like in middle school, fam. I'm in middle school, fam. We running wild. They like we lose, nigga. We lose, nigga. We out.
Man, you was still from the candy store, man.
We out here. We out here. You know what I'm saying? Man, we out here.
Man, you was moving candy lady, man. Come on, bro.
I ain't know what was going on, but I was out there, fam. We lose, nigga. 92.
I agree. I agree with that assessment as well, bro. I think it's all a necessary evil.
Yep.
So to speak.
Exactly.
It's all a necessary evil.
To an extent, and nobody owns those businesses. We don't own those businesses.
Biggs just gave examples though. But Biggs gave examples, so some of them we do own.
Maybe one or two of them. We might own maybe one or two of them. It's a casualty.
Nah, so that was the problem with what happened in LA.
You got to think about Atlanta. You can't think contract minded from where you at.
Yeah.
And Atlanta is predominantly black. They was fucking up everything in Atlanta.
Yeah, they tore a couple shit up.
That's ignorant. There's some ignorance out there. You know, but I mean, I'm sure they in hindsight they're like, damn, we shouldn't have did that.
Once the chaos starts, nobody knows. Nobody's gonna stop and be like, "Yo, this is a black-owned block. Let's don't touch it." Once the chaos starts, it's up. You know what I'm saying? It's up and it's stuck. So that's why, like I say, the riding. Riding and looting is two different things to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm cool with the riding, and I'm cool with certain forms of looting too. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, if you're looting from a Walmart or Target or Lowe's, wherever, I don't care. That's a major, you know what I'm saying, corporation, and I know that they're not.
They're part of the reason why you can't get up.
You know what I'm saying? They I know that's not hurting them. It's the small businesses, man, that I just can't get with that. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a mom and pop store in the corner. Man, look, walk a couple more blocks until we hit Food Line and loot them.
You know what?
Like, you gonna head that in loot Food Line? Come on, bitch.
Listen, loop it back in. Loop it back in.
That's where he shop at.
And while you in there, bring me a couple porterhouses, baby. I got you when you get here.
Yo, hey, bro, hey, when this corona kicked off, I thought they was looting. I was like, y'all can't get no toilet tissue?
None.
Clorox, nah, you good.
I was mad as hell they ain't had no lamb up in there. And when y'all start eating lamb?
Well, they ran out of chicken. I'm like, come on, man, really?
Listen, I said Clorox.
Buying stuff that they wouldn't even normally buy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All she had was that Fabuloso.
Yeah, you would have thought I had a bunch of newborns at my house. Much I was using baby wipes. I'm like, come on, man, really? I can't get one roll. I gotta get some baby wipes, man.
Hey, Ro. Hey, Ro. The last topic, I think we might have touched that a little bit already, as far as the law.
We did.
You touched that one heavy. So
Yeah. Chad kind of rolled us into it a little bit.
I don't even know if we need to touch that one. So I don't know if you want to go around final thoughts or whatever, however you want to do it.
Yeah, we could do that, man. We could do the final thoughts because we almost at about 2 hours anyway, man. So we'll start from the top like we always did, man. We'll start with Riley.
Man, just like I always say, man, when I go live, let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's, stay positive and whatever we do in life, support each other, support your family, support our friends, and let's keep moving forward. We can continue to look backwards all we want, but it's how long you want to continue to look backwards, and you won't be able to move forward. So let's continue to move forward. Let's come up with ideas on what we need to do as Black men and support our families. Let's put our minds together, because we can't build anything together as a group, as a community, unless we're willing to share this information that we got so we can progress. That's all I got, y'all.
What you got, Ant?
I ain't got shit. He said it all right there, bro.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing to say after that. I'm gonna say peace out. And we all need to stay together as Black people, like united, like completely, like indifferent. One cause, man, one goal, and that's it. Like, don't matter what you are, what your position is you playing, what team you play for in the NFL, you Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta kneel with Cap. You with Cap, be with Cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta be together 100% across the board. Without question. I don't give a damn what y'all doing. What you doing to express yourself and how you feel you need to express yourself and what your voice need to be in this movement. I don't care. I'm not here to question that. If that's your voice, that's your voice. I'm not here. I'm not gonna talk about that until we get the problem solved. And once we get the problem solved, then we can turn around and look at our own house and say, yo, fellas, listen, we need to tighten up. You won't need to do shit like that. You don't need to behave like this or like that. But until y'all stop killing us, man, I ain't trying to talk to my brothers about none of the nonsense they doing to y'all. And none of y'all businesses that we don't own, and the little nickels and dimes y'all throw us. None of these little stimulus checks mean nothing until y'all change something. Until y'all start giving us an actual, a status in our own community. Like, we're nobody. Like, we run around here scared of moving our own communities. What type of life is that?
Yo, Ant.
Period.
Yo, Ant, I'm gonna need to know where to get that hat from.
Is that your final thoughts?
That's my final thought.
Oh, I need to know where to get that hat from. That New
like
York brand with the red
like
under.
the red print?
I need to know where to get that from. Just FYI. Just FYI.
SG.
First off,
I got you. I'll put you on.
First off, I want to thank you, brothers, or whatever and stuff, for putting this together, man. I think this was awesome, man. I think we need to do more stuff like this. So I definitely appreciate you, brothers. Keep doing what you're doing, man. This thing is gonna get big. I can feel it. Or my closing thoughts, man. The biggest thing that I want to put out there is we can't lose focus.
Yeah.
We can't lose focus, man. We gotta stay and finish this task, man. We got a huge opportunity, like I said earlier. We got a huge opportunity with what's going on right now. We got the election coming up and everything. People, get out and vote. Please get out and vote, or whatever. Every vote counts. You may not think it does, but it does, whatever. And we need to and like Rose said, or whatever, your local. Research your laws locally, or whatever. Research the people, because that's where it's going to start, or whatever.
That's where they're going to tax you too.
Yeah, or whatever. Research the people that's running locally, or whatever. I've been doing that now for about 5 or 6 years. I research everybody, or whatever and stuff, because that's what's really going to directly affect me, or whatever. So definitely do that. Don't stop protesting. I mean, we need to keep on protesting. I mean, we got to get these. See these officers get arrested. I mean, get and charged and sent to prison or whatever. People need to be held responsible for killing our Black brothers and sisters, man. But like I said, you brothers keep doing what you're doing, man.
What you got, Big?
What you got, Biggs?
Yo, man.
Yeah,
there you go.
Say, y'all guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, good.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold up.
It's the car, man.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, man.
I know it's hot, nigga. I know it's hot.
I'm gonna just say, man, keep it going. Just like SG was saying, man.
Shut up, quiet.
Keep it going, just like we're here today discussing on this platform. This doesn't need to be the end. This doesn't need to be the end of this. It took George Floyd or the coronavirus or whatever just to get us together doing these type of meetings or whatever. We need to keep it going. And how far is each one of us really prepared to go, man, to see that change happen? You know what I'm saying? You got to do some soul searching, man, and see how far you're really prepared to go as a man to see this change happen. What are you prepared to do? Are you just prepared to protest? Are you prepared to go, down to the courthouse and protest on the front steps? Like, what are you really prepared to do, man? Write letters to the senator, demanding change. We gotta really, sit down and say, man, how far are we prepared to go? Right now, like Ant like to say earlier, we got them by the balls. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Why we got them by the balls? You know what I'm saying? We can't get it off.
Right. You gotta execute.
Yeah, we can't let off, man. We can't take.
You gotta execute.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we got to go ahead and move forward, man. From here where we at, we're right now, man. The future of this nation is shifting right up on our feet right now, man. We're a part of this right now. Our kids are even gonna be even a more part of it. But it's changing right now up on our feet, man. I didn't know if I was gonna be alive to see it. Certain things happen that just brought it on now. And I'm glad that, I'm able to be here to witness it happen. You know what I'm saying? But it's changing right now, man. And I don't want to just be a part of the spectating group. I want to be a part of the group that's going forth making change. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to each, hold ourselves accountable, hold ourselves to a higher standard, man. How far are we prepared to go? You know what I'm saying? And like Reese said earlier, we can't just come on here and do a bunch of talking. What are we gonna do after the podcast, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we gonna just talk and then just wait to another podcast to talk some more? Or are we gonna actually
same old shit?
Or are we gonna actually come together and try to make something happen? There's enough of us in this group, on the group we got, to come together to do something, man, to make something happen. There's enough of us, man. You know what I'm saying? I know it is. So, I don't have all the answers or whatever. I ain't saying I got ideas right now. But it's enough of us, man.
Yo, there's a couple. I'm sure there's a couple of dollars between a few of us right here.
Yeah, a couple.
A couple of dollars.
A few.
A couple of dollars. A couple of dollars.
You know what I mean? One or two.
General,
One or two. So honestly, man, this was a great conversation. We went from the people being in the military, going out there in the protests. That one drug on. Everybody had an opinion on that one. Man, we kind of bounced back and forth, but at the end of the day, I think we made a full circle, man. I think we kind of identified some problems we all know. Like you said, shit, we gotta put a plan into action. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these things we all know. We get to talk about certain subjects, we go back. This happened, that happened. We all know that happened. We all know the history. We go forward. What we gonna do? How we gonna do it? We gonna collaborate? We gonna do what? We don't know. I think honestly, it's a good dialogue we had today. And, for me, I'm going to take something back with me. I'm going to do 3 sentences. Go back to elementary school. 3 sentences. What I need to talk to these brothers about. And I'm going to get with you on that. And that's what I'm going to do. So, appreciate the time, fellas. Love you.
Likewise.
I love you, bro. No doubt.
Love you, bro. Hey, I'll go ahead and chime in before you take it on home roll. I'm gonna pull an Anthony, man. I don't really got nothing. Y'all covered it all, and then I'm gonna go ahead and talk for about 2 minutes.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
Yo, I got a work emergency, man. I gotta run, yo.
All right.
All right,
Be good.
I'll holler at you later, yo. I gotta run out.
All right, be
bro.
good.
Yo, be safe, yo. Love is love, yo.
Likewise, bro.
Word. Much
Man, no doubt,
success.
bro. Love y'all fellas, man. Everybody be
Peace.
safe, man.
All right, brother.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think this was definitely our best show to date. I love the dialogue. I've always been a proponent of having good dialogue, whether we agree or disagree. And I think from the beginning topic, we wasn't all on the same page, and it's still good to have that dialogue. So we could, at the end of the day, we should all be able to come together as brothers, and even with the sisters, to have dialogue, whether we agree or disagree, and it be a grown-up conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this was definitely one of the best shows I think that we did, and y'all was a part of that. So we definitely appreciate that. I know I do. Go ahead, Ro.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I just appreciate everybody participating in the show, man. Like I said, I don't need to, repeat all the good things you brothers already said. Just appreciate everybody participating. This is like our second show where we talked about some very serious topics, but we in serious times right now. And like you said, I think SG was saying, we have the momentum right now, so we got to make sure that we keep pushing. You know what I mean? You got to take advantage of this opportunity. And whenever you're able to have good dialogue with good, men, strong Black men, we all are, have families, we are leaders, and whether you're at work, at home, and so to be able to come together like that and to bounce ideas with one another, hear different perspectives. Like Sean said, we don't always got to agree. You get what I'm saying? But having that healthy dialogue helps us grow.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So very good show, man. I learned some things. It's always good to hear different perspectives on different topics. Like I said, hopefully, we can do this again. One thing that I would say before end is that one thing me and Sean talk about with this podcast is that, it ain't just about us. We have friends, we have inner circle, and if you listen to this podcast and you want to be a part of it, just let us know. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to just be me and Sean. We actually want to bring our friends along with us. You get what I mean? Like, it's kind of like we thought about what I think what Big said, the whole crab in the barrel. No, we're not thinking like that. You know what I mean? If the R&R experience it blows up, we all blow up. You get what I'm saying? And that's the mentality that we gotta have. We gotta change the way we think. You get what I'm saying? If it's SG doing something and he blow up, that means we blowing up. Cause that's my man. So if he doing good, we all doing good. So I just think that's kind of the route we want to go with the show. So, if you're listening and you want to be a part of it, you got a different perspective, if you want to share, hit us up, be a part of the next show.
That was definitely, if I can caveat off of that real quick, that was definitely something we talked about. Because I remember when we was talking about the show and having our friends or our guests on, and it was like, yo, who was that was on the show with the Rick Ross beard?
Yeah.
Hold on. So now I get to talk about that?
Let's get him back.
I've been waiting. Do I get to talk about it now or no?
I couldn't get on the show without talking about that.
I get to talk about it or no?
Fresh line up, big.
Do I get to talk about it or no? Man, listen, I ain't seen this man in years, right? Yeah. Man, see this man in years. First time I see him, I don't know if we was on the phone. I can't remember. He pop up on the phone. Fam, we got the full Ross show. That's the first thing I said to him, Ross.
Hey, get us on out here, Ro, for this joint carry over.
Exactly.
Listen, that was the first thing I said to him, Ross. Over to Miami. I ain't seen this man in years. He had the full. Yeah, fam.
One thing I want to say before we get out of here, make sure you like, subscribe, the YouTube channel, IG, go to our website, which is
share,
which is rnrexperience.com. So check out the website, check out the Instagram, the Facebook. Just make sure you share it, like it, subscribe. Like I said, if you want to be a part of the show, shoot us an email to road.reese.podcast@gmail.com. And, you know, just hit us up. So appreciate you listening. Appreciate you taking out, 2 hours out of your day to listen to it, whether you broke it up 30 minutes at a time, however, we appreciate it all. So until next time, hey, we'll see you. Salute.
All right.
Salute y'all fellas, man.
Yeah.
Oh no. Time. They just trying to speak their peace. Get your peace. Oh no. Roy Reese. Friends through any weather, so it's only right they get together, build something together. Oh no. Experience brings wisdom, and wisdom wise decisions. Veterans, affairs of priority. So when it come to veterans, probably should be tuning in. Matter of fact, tell a couple friends. If you got issues with your dog, cat, woman, and opinion about 45 sitting up in Gotham, guess that made Roy Reese who? Batman and Robin, dialogue just might help you solve it. Come to conclusion to dissolve. So you can get back to your R&R. Just trying to speak a piece. Get your piece, R&R. Roy Reese. What up? The R&R experience. They just kick it how they living. They just trying to speak their piece. Get your piece, R&R. Roy Reese. What up? R&R experience. Yeah. Just kick it how they living. It's just so important. They just trying to speak their piece.